Hey ladies and gentlemen, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Welcome back to Global Coin News. Imagine holding a simple brown old penny in your hand. Something that looks ordinary. Something most people would ignore or even throw away. But what if I told you that this small copper coin could be worth thousands of dollars today, maybe even enough to change your life? Welcome to the hidden world of United States Lincoln Wheat Pennies, where history, rarity, and condition turn pocket change into serious money. In today's video, we are revealing the most valuable top 6 Lincoln Wheat Pennies, struck at different mints, surviving in rare conditions, and selling right now in the action market for jaw-dropping prices. Watch this video till the end, because one of these coins could already be sitting in your home without you even realizing it. So let's get started. First up, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1928 with no mint mark, especially in fine condition, could be worth far more than its face value today. What if this quiet survivor of the past could turn into hundreds, or even thousands of dollars in today's active collector market? Stay with me, because in this video we are uncovering the hidden story, rare features, collector demand, and real market value of one of the most fascinating wheat pennies ever produced. The year 1928 sits quietly between the roaring optimism of the 1920s and the devastating crash that would soon shake the entire world. When the Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in 1928, America was standing on the edge of the Great Depression, although no one knew it yet. These coins were produced during a time when industry was booming, people were hopeful, and the U.S. Mint was operating at full strength to support a growing economy. The Lincoln cent itself had already become a national symbol by this time, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. By 1928, the design was nearly 20 years old, yet still deeply respected and widely circulated across the country. The 1928 wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins. Millions were produced, but here is where history plays its trick. While many were minted, very few survived in strong, collectible condition. These pennies were used daily, passed from hand to hand, spent in corner stores, dropped into cash registers, and carried through some of the hardest years America would ever face. As a result, finding a 1928 no-mint mark wheat penny today in fine condition or better is far more difficult than the original mintage numbers suggest. When you look closely at this coin, the design itself tells a powerful story. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's profile face is right, strong yet thoughtful, designed by Victor David Brenner. The details of Lincoln's hair, cheekbone, and jawline are crucial when determining condition. In fine condition, these details are still clearly visible, though lightly worn. The word liberty above Lincoln's head, "In God We Trust," remains readable. The date 1928 is sharp, and Lincoln's expression still carries depth and character. This level of preservation is exactly what collectors search for. Turning the coin over reveals the iconic wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with the pluribus unum proudly displayed above. These wheat stalks represent prosperity, growth, and agricultural strength, themes deeply connected to American identity during that era. In fine condition, the wheat lines are still strong, the lettering remains bold, and the overall balance of the design is intact. The coin's original bronze composition, made of 95% copper, often develops a rich brown patina over time, which many collectors find extremely desirable. Now let's talk about rarity, because this is where the real value conversation begins. While the 1928 Philadelphia wheat penny is not considered rare in low grades, the story changes dramatically when condition improves. Most examples found today are heavily worn, scratched, or damaged. Coins that survive in fine condition represent a small fraction of the original mintage. Add to that the rising global demand for classic U.S. coins, and suddenly this once-forgotten penny becomes a serious collector target. Many collectors aim to complete full wheat penny date sets, and the 1928 issue is a key slot that often upgrades poorly in collections, increasing demand for higher-grade examples. In today's active coin market, value depends heavily on condition, eye appeal, and authenticity. A 1928 wheat penny with no mint mark in average circulated condition may sell for only a few dollars. But in fine condition, prices rise sharply. Certified examples can easily sell for $572,000, depending on color, surface quality, and strike. In even higher grades, especially when professionally graded and encapsulated, auction results have shown values climbing into the high thousand and, in exceptional cases, approaching the $1 million range. Errors, die varieties, or unusually sharp strikes can push values even higher, making this coin one that serious collectors and investors closely watch. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins like this because they combine history, affordability, and growth potential. Unlike modern coins produced in massive numbers, early 20th century wheat pennies exist in a shrinking supply. Every year, more are lost, damaged, or permanently removed from circulation into private collections. This natural reduction increases scarcity over time, which is exactly what drives long-term value. The 1928 no-mint mark wheat penny sits in a sweet spot where demand continues to rise while quality examples become harder to find. If you are lucky enough to own one of these pennies, there are important tips you should follow. Never clean the coin, no matter how tempting it may be. Cleaning can destroy original surfaces and instantly reduce value. Store the coin in a protective holder, preferably a non-PVC flip or capsule. If the coin appears well preserved, consider professional grading, as certification can significantly increase buyer confidence and market value. Always compare recent auction results before selling, because prices can change quickly based on collector trends and copper market fluctuations. The 1928 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is more than just an old coin. It is a silent witness to American history, economic change, and artistic craftsmanship. In fine condition, it transforms from a simple 1-cent piece into a valuable collectible that can command impressive prices in today's market. Coins like this prove that treasure does not always glitter. Sometimes it rests quietly in a drawer, a jar, or an old collection waiting to be rediscovered. Next up, United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent, 1941D, and in very fine condition, it could be a sleeper treasure that many people overlook every single day. We are diving deep into the history, features, rarity, collector demand, and modern market value of this iconic coin. To truly understand the value and importance of the 1941D Lincoln Wheat Penny, we have to travel back in time. The year 1941 sits at a powerful crossroads in American history. The United States was standing on the edge of World War II, with global tensions rising and the economy still feeling the long shadows of the Great Depression. During this era, every coin minted carried more than monetary value. It carried the weight of a nation preparing for one of the most significant moments in world history. The Lincoln Wheat Penny design, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, symbolized unity, strength, and resilience. By 1941, this design had already become deeply woven into everyday American life. The Denver Mint, identified by the D Mint mark, played a crucial role in supplying coinage to the western United States. In 1941, the Denver Mint struck millions of wheat pennies, but quantity alone does not determine value. What truly matters is survival, condition, and collector demand decades later. Many of these pennies were heavily circulated during wartime, spent on basic necessities like bread, fuel, and transportation. As a result, finding a 1941D Lincoln Wheat Penny in very fine condition today is far more difficult than most people realize. Now let's talk about the unique features that make this coin special. The obverse side proudly displays the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. In very fine condition, Lincoln's facial features remain strong and clear. You can still see the separation in his hair, the outline of his coat, and the sharpness in his jawline. The words "I in God we trust, liberty," and the date 1941 remain bold and readable, not faded or weak. This level of detail is exactly what collectors look for. Turn the coin over, and the reverse side tells another story. Two elegant wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum across the top. On a very fine example, the wheat lines remain distinct, not smooth or blended together. The central lettering stands tall, and the overall surface shows honest wear without major damage. And there it is. The small but powerful D Mint mark, confirming its Denver origin and adding an extra layer of desirability. The coin's composition is classic for its era: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm bronze finish that ages beautifully when preserved. Its modest size, just under 20 mm across, hides a rich texture of history within. Rarity is where things start to get exciting. While the 1941D penny is not rare in poor or heavily worn condition, very fine condition pieces are far scarcer. Most examples were circulated aggressively, and many were later melted, damaged, or lost over time. Collectors today are extremely selective. They want coins with original surfaces, natural color, minimal marks, and strong detail. A 1941D Lincoln Wheat Penny that meets these standards instantly stands out in the marketplace. Condition plays a massive role in collector demand. A very fine coin represents a perfect balance. It shows history, but it hasn't lost its character. Collectors often prefer very fine wheat pennies because they still look beautiful without the extreme price tags of mint-state coins. This sweet spot makes the 1941D penny especially attractive to both beginner and advanced collectors, increasing competition and driving prices higher. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know: the current market value. In today's active coin market, a standard circulated 1941D wheat penny may only be worth a few cents. However, a very fine condition example can command significantly higher prices, especially if it has strong eye appeal. Coins with exceptional surfaces, rich color, and no major flaws can sell for $495,000, and in rare cases such as coins with top-tier grading, unique die varieties, or historical provenance values can climb into the $687,000. Auction results continue to prove that collectors are willing to pay strong money for quality examples, especially as demand for classic U.S. copper coins grows worldwide. For collectors, this coin offers several important lessons. Always check the date and mint mark carefully, because one small letter can make a huge difference. Examine the coin under good lighting and magnification to evaluate detail and surface quality. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can instantly destroy its value. Proper storage is essential. Use coin holders or capsules to protect it from moisture and fingerprints. If you believe your 1941D wheat penny is exceptional, professional grading can unlock its true market potential. The 1941D Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a surviving witness to a turning point in American history, a symbol of resilience during uncertain times, and a hidden opportunity for collectors who know what to look for. In very fine condition, this penny transforms from spare change into a serious collectible, with real market value and long-term potential. Next up, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny, 1 cent, dated 1939, struck without a mint mark, surviving in very fine circulated condition. This is not just a penny. It is a witness to American history, a symbol of transition, and in the right circumstances, a coin that can carry a surprisingly big dollar value in today's active collector market. Stay with me to truly understand the importance of the 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny. We need to step back in time. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was revolutionary for its time, becoming the first regular-issue United States coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American pockets. By 1939, the United States was standing at a crossroads. The country was slowly emerging from the Great Depression, while tensions were rising overseas as World War II loomed on the horizon. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted in 1939, belongs to the final chapter of the wheat cent era, which would officially end in 1958 when the reverse design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. Coins from this period reflect a nation regaining its footing, and they were produced in enormous numbers to support everyday commerce during a time when even a single cent mattered. The 1939 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark at that time. Millions were produced, and many circulated heavily, passing through countless hands during a period of economic recovery. Yet despite the large mintage, surviving examples in strong collector condition tell a more selective story. The obverse of the 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Brenner's design captures Lincoln with a calm, dignified expression, emphasizing both strength and humility. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust" appear along the top rim, with "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's portrait and the date 1939 to the right. On coins without a mint mark, there is no letter beneath the date, confirming that it was struck in Philadelphia. The reverse is where the wheat penny truly earns its nickname. Two stylized wheat ears curve gracefully along the left and right edges of the coin, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum. This reverse design symbolizes agricultural strength and prosperity, reflecting the values of early 20th century America. In very fine circulated condition, the 1939 wheat penny still retains strong detail. Lincoln's hair shows clear separation, the cheek and jawline remain well defined, and most lettering is sharp and readable. On the reverse, the wheat stalks display distinct lines, even though the highest points may show light wear. The original reddish-brown or chocolate-brown tone often remains, adding character and authenticity that collectors appreciate deeply. Another important feature of this coin is its metal composition. Like most wheat pennies of the era, the 1939 cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin both weight and warmth, and it contributes to the natural patina that develops over decades of circulation. At first glance, a 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark might not seem rare because of its high original mintage. However, rarity in coin collecting is not defined by mintage numbers alone. It is defined by survival, condition, and demand. While millions were struck, far fewer have survived in attractive, problem-free condition after decades of use. Very fine circulated condition sits in a sweet spot for many collectors. These coins show honest wear, proving they were part of everyday American life, yet they still retain enough detail to display the original artistry of the design. Collectors often prefer such coins over heavily worn examples because they balance affordability with visual appeal. Demand for wheat pennies remains strong worldwide, especially among beginners and seasoned collectors alike. The 1939 issue holds additional interest because it comes from a historically significant period and represents the later years of the wheat cent series. Furthermore, collectors actively search for coins with exceptional eye appeal, original surfaces, and natural toning. Any unusual characteristics, such as strong strikes, minor die variations, or exceptionally preserved details, can significantly increase desirability. Or in rare cases, 1939 pennies with specific errors, varieties, or extraordinary preservation can become highly sought after. When combined with professional grading and authentication, such coins move into a different league of collectability altogether. Under normal circumstances, a standard 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark in very fine circulated condition trades for a modest premium over face value. However, the real excitement begins when special factors come into play. Coins with exceptional surfaces, sharp details, and attractive toning can command much higher prices, especially when certified by major grading services. In today's active coin market, rare varieties, dramatic mint errors, or top population graded examples of the 1939 wheat penny have sold for $465,000 at auction. These are not everyday finds, but they do exist, and they fueled the dream of collectors and treasure hunters alike. A single cent coin, once used to buy a loaf of bread generations ago, can now represent a four-figure investment under the right conditions. Market values are influenced by collector demand, auction competition, and broader trends in precious metals and numismatics. As interest in historical U.S. coinage continues to grow globally, standout examples of classic coins like the 1939 wheat penny are increasingly seen as long-term collectibles with serious value potential. For collectors hoping to find or invest in a 1939 Lincoln Wheat Penny, patience and knowledge are key. Always examine coins carefully under good lighting, paying close attention to the date, mint mark area, and overall surface quality. Avoid cleaning coins, as improper cleaning can permanently damage value and destroy original surfaces that collectors prize. Learning about grading standards is essential. Understanding what separates fine, very fine, extremely fine, and uncirculated conditions will help you make smarter buying and selling decisions. Storing coins properly in protective holders or albums will preserve their condition for future generations. It is also wise to follow current market trends and auction results. Prices can change over time, and staying informed allows collectors to recognize opportunities when they appear. Networking with other collectors, visiting coin shows, and consulting reputable dealers can further deepen your understanding and appreciation of these historic pieces. The United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent dated 1939 without a mint mark is far more than a simple piece of copper. It is a tangible connection to a pivotal moment in American history, a symbol of resilience during challenging times, and a beloved classic in the world of coin collecting. In very fine circulated condition, it tells a story of everyday use while still preserving the artistry and craftsmanship of its era. While not every 1939 wheat penny will be worth millions of dollars, the possibility exists, and that possibility is what keeps collectors searching through rolls, drawers, and collections with excitement and hope. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a curious beginner, this humble coin reminds us that even the smallest denominations can carry enormous historical and monetary significance. Next up, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent 1919 with S mint mark, found in a black-colored, circulated condition, a coin that many people ignore but collectors around the world are desperately searching for. Stay with this video till the end, because the coin you think is ordinary might secretly be a hidden treasure. The story of the 1919 Lincoln Wheat Penny begins just after one of the most important events in world history. The year 1919 came immediately after World War I, a time when the United States was recovering economically, socially, and emotionally. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing coins not just as currency, but as symbols of stability and national pride. The Lincoln Wheat Penny design, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, had already become one of the most respected coin designs in American history. By 1919, this coin was deeply rooted in everyday American life, passing through the hands of workers, soldiers, shopkeepers, and families trying to rebuild their future. What makes the 1919 penny especially interesting is the San Francisco Mint mark, represented by the small but powerful letter S below the date. The San Francisco Mint was known for producing fewer coins compared to Philadelphia and Denver, and in 1919, production numbers were significantly lower. This automatically makes the 1919's Lincoln Wheat Penny more desirable. When fewer coins are made, fewer survive, and when fewer survive, collector demand rises sharply over time. Now let's talk about the unique features that define this historic coin. On the front side, or obverse, the coin proudly displays the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's expression is calm, strong, and dignified, symbolizing leadership and unity. The words "I in God we trust" appear across the top, while liberty is placed on the left side. The date 1919 sits on the right with the small S mint mark just beneath it, a tiny detail that dramatically changes the value of this coin. On the reverse side, the iconic wheat ears frame the words 1 cent and United States of America with the pluribus unum proudly displayed above. These wheat stalks represent prosperity, growth, and the agricultural strength of the nation during the early 20th century. The simplicity of the design is exactly what makes it powerful. Every line, every letter, and every detail tells a story of America's past. Now, the black or dark color of this coin is something many people misunderstand. This coloration often comes from decades of circulation, oxidation, environmental exposure, or storage conditions. While shiny coins are popular, experienced collectors know that natural dark toning, especially when original and untouched, can actually increase desirability. A black-colored circulated 1919's Wheat Penny tells a story of real use and real history. It shows that the coin has lived through generations, which many collectors deeply appreciate. Rarity plays a massive role in collector demand, and this is where the 1919's penny truly shines. Even though millions were minted, far fewer exist today, especially in identifiable, authentic circulated condition. Many were melted, lost, damaged, or cleaned improperly. Coins that remain original, even if worn, are far more valuable than cleaned or altered examples. Collectors look closely at the details of Lincoln's face, the wheat lines, and the visibility of the mint mark to determine authenticity and grade. Condition is equally important. While uncirculated coins command the highest prices, circulated examples with strong details, original surfaces, and attractive toning can still bring impressive money. A circulated 1919's Wheat Penny in black color, with readable date and mint mark, can be highly desirable, especially for collectors trying to complete full Lincoln Wheat Penny sets. Now let's talk about what everyone wants to know: current market value. In today's action coin market, a 1919's Lincoln Wheat Penny can range widely in price depending on condition and authenticity. Lower grade circulated examples may start in the $780,000, but stronger circulated coins with clear details can easily reach $1.4 million. In higher grades or professionally certified examples, prices can climb even higher, sometimes exceeding $1.6 million or more at auction. The market for rare U.S. coins continues to grow, especially as fewer original pieces remain available. For collectors, this coin represents more than money, it represents opportunity. If you believe you have a 1919's Wheat Penny, the first tip is never to clean it. Cleaning can destroy value instantly. Always store the coin in a safe holder and consider professional grading from a trusted service. Learn to recognize genuine mint marks, correct weight, and original surfaces. Patience is key in coin collecting, and knowledge is power. Collectors should also watch auction results, follow coin market trends, and connect with reputable dealers. Sometimes the real value of a coin appears when two collectors compete for the same rare piece. This is where prices can explode unexpectedly. As we reach the conclusion, remember this: the 1919's Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just a 1-cent coin. It is a survivor of history, a symbol of post-war America, and a potential financial treasure hiding in plain sight. That dark, black-colored, circulated penny you might overlook could be worth more than you ever imagined. Always check your coins, learn their stories, and respect their history. Because sometimes, the smallest coins carry the biggest value. Next up, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent from 1937, struck without a mint mark, preserved in fine condition, and surrounded by fascination in today's action market. This is not just a penny. This is a time capsule from the Great Depression era, a coin that millions once spent without a second thought, and one that collectors now examine closely, knowing that the right example could be worth far more than its face value. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will understand why the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny still captures attention, sparks excitement, and continues to rise in importance among collectors around the world. To truly appreciate the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny, we must step back into history. The year 1937 was a turning point for the United States. The country was slowly recovering from the Great Depression, factories were regaining momentum, and everyday Americans relied heavily on small change for daily transactions. Pennies mattered. Introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Wheat Penny was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. By 1937, the design had already become familiar, trusted, and deeply woven into American life. The absence of a mint mark on the 1937 penny tells us it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, the primary mint facility of the United States. Philadelphia pennies were struck in massive numbers to meet national demand, yet even among millions minted, certain coins survived the decades in better condition than others, and those survivors are the ones collectors chase today. Now let's talk about the unique features that make the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny instantly recognizable and historically significant. On the obverse, you see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's profile is dignified and calm, with sharp details in the hair, cheekbone, and coat that become especially noticeable when the coin is in fine condition. Above his head is the simple yet powerful word liberty, while the motto "I in God we trust" arches across the top, reflecting the values of the era. The date 1937 sits proudly at the bottom, a silent witness to a challenging yet resilient time in American history. Turn the coin over, and you are greeted by the classic wheat ears design, with two stalks framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. These wheat ears symbolize prosperity, agriculture, and growth, values deeply connected to the American identity during the early 20th century. The phrase "E pluribus unum" rests above, reminding us of unity from many. The composition of the coin is another key feature: 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that rich reddish-brown tone that collectors admire, especially when original surfaces remain intact. Rarity is where the story becomes even more interesting. On paper, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark does not appear extremely rare, as tens of millions were struck. However, rarity in the coin world is not only about mintage numbers. It is about survival, condition, and demand. Most 1937 pennies were heavily circulated, used daily in shops, buses, and markets, leading to wear, scratches, and damage. Finding one today in fine condition, where the details of Lincoln's face remain clear, the wheat lines are still visible, and the lettering is strong, is becoming increasingly difficult. Collectors value coins that show honest circulation but still retain strong design elements, because they tell a story without being destroyed by time. Demand for wheat pennies remains strong worldwide, especially among beginner and advanced collectors who want to complete date sets or invest in classic American copper coins. This steady demand keeps prices firm and pushes values higher for better preserved examples. When we talk about current market value, this is where excitement builds. A typical worn 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny may only be worth a few cents, but that is not the coin we are discussing today. A 1937 penny without a mint mark in fine condition can command significantly higher prices, especially when certified or carefully preserved. In today's action market, strong fine condition examples can reach impressive dollar values, and in exceptional cases, coins with sharp details, original color, and minimal damage can climb into much higher price ranges. Auction results and collector sales show that premium examples continue to attract competitive bidding, and while not every 1937 penny will make you rich overnight, the right coin absolutely holds serious collector value. The idea that a small 1-cent coin can be valued in the $385,000 depending on condition is what keeps collectors searching through old jars, inherited collections, and estate finds. For collectors, owning a 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just about money, it is about preservation and knowledge. One of the most important tips is to learn how to properly evaluate condition. Fine condition means moderate wear but clear details, so always examine Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat, as well as the wheat lines on the reverse. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can destroy original surfaces and drastically reduce value. Proper storage is also essential. Keeping the coin in a protective holder away from moisture and extreme temperatures helps preserve its condition for the future. Research is another powerful tool. Understanding market trends, recent auction prices, and grading standards will help you make informed decisions whether you are buying, selling, or holding. And most importantly, patience is key. Coins often increase in value over time, especially classic designs like the wheat penny that have lasting historical appeal. As we reach the conclusion of this journey, it becomes clear that the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent from 1937 without a mint mark is far more than spare change. It is a symbol of American resilience, a piece of copper history that has traveled through generations, and a reminder that even the smallest objects can hold remarkable stories and surprising value. In fine condition, this coin stands out as a desirable collectible, blending history, artistry, and market demand into one small but powerful package. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to explore the world of coin collecting, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny deserves your attention. Next up, the most overlooked yet secretly powerful coins in American history, the United States Lincoln Wheat Penny 1 cent from 1950, struck without a mint mark, found in circulated condition, and still capable of shocking the modern coin market. Watch this video carefully, because the penny you ignore today could be the treasure you regret tomorrow. To understand why the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny matters, we have to step back into post-World War II America. The nation was rebuilding, factories were booming, families were growing, and everyday coins were moving fast through the hands of millions. The Lincoln Wheat Penny had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades by 1950, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. By the time this coin was struck, it had become a symbol of American endurance, quietly witnessing wars, economic recovery, and cultural change. The 1950 penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins. These pennies were never meant to be rare. They were meant to be spent. And that is exactly why surviving examples with special characteristics are now creating serious excitement among collectors. What makes the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny so fascinating is its classic design combined with subtle details that most people never notice. On the front, you see Victor D. Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, calm, strong, and dignified. The date 1950 sits boldly beneath his image, while the word liberty rests to the left, and I in God we trust arches above. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date confirms its Philadelphia origin. Flip the coin over, and you're greeted by the famous wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, with E pluribus unum resting above. This wheat-backed design, retired in 1958, is now one of the most beloved designs in American numismatics. The coin was struck in 95% copper, giving it that warm reddish-brown tone collectors love, especially when original surfaces remain intact despite circulation. Now let's talk about rarity, because this is where things get interesting. While millions of 1950 Philadelphia wheat pennies were produced, most were heavily circulated, damaged, cleaned, or melted down over the decades. In circulated condition, these coins may seem common at first glance, but collector demand changes everything when certain factors come into play. Pennies with strong strikes, readable wheat lines, full lettering, and minimal corrosion immediately rise in desirability. Even more important are error varieties off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, or unusual planchet flaws. These are the coins that collectors fight over. Finding a circulated 1950 wheat penny with a dramatic mint error is like finding lightning trapped in copper, and that is exactly why demand continues to grow. So what is the current market value today? In normal circulated condition, a standard 1950 no mint mark wheat penny might trade for only a few dollars. But the story does not end there. High-grade circulated examples with original color can command significantly higher prices. When certified by major grading services and showing exceptional eye appeal, values can jump into the $695,000. And here is the part most people don't tell you: rare error varieties, even in circulated condition, have sold for $1.5 million at auction. Coins with major doubling, dramatic strike errors, or unique mint anomalies have crossed the four-figure mark, shocking sellers who once believed they had nothing more than pocket change. In today's active action market, where collectors and investors are aggressively hunting wheat pennies, the right 1950 coin can absolutely be a big money surprise. If you're a collector or someone just starting out, this is the time to pay attention. Always inspect your wheat pennies carefully under good lighting. Look closely at the date, the lettering, and the wheat ears for doubling or distortion. Never clean your coins, because cleaning destroys value instantly. Store your pennies in protective holders to preserve their surfaces. If you believe you have something special, consider professional grading, because authentication alone can multiply a coin's market value. Most importantly, stay informed, because coin values change with demand, and wheat pennies are becoming harder to find every year. In the end, the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark is more than just a 1-cent coin. It is a survivor of a powerful era in American history, a reminder that even the smallest objects can carry enormous stories, and sometimes enormous value. Whether you're hunting through old collections, inherited coins, or everyday change, never underestimate the humble penny, because one day, that quiet piece of copper might turn out to be the most valuable thing you ever overlooked. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and hidden money, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay with us, because the next coin we reveal could already be sitting in your pocket. Your next penny might change your life. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.